before we begin, does anyone want to get off?
Oh, by the way, we're live.
Oh yeah, we've been live.
No, I meant like we're live now.
Should we
Live.
Should we just do a watch party for Physical 100 later? Like,
Hello, everyone. Have you thought about watching Physical 100?
On Netflix, it's so good.
I
fun to
woke
watch
up
on
late.
mute.
Yeah, I woke up late, and my party members were all watching it along with the DM.
this is how we know you're not a wizard.
I'm not a wizard.
Because you did not arrive precisely when you meant to.
I did not.
Just love that we watched it silently and then did the voices.
Did the voice.
to
That
it.
was the best part
Like
of it.
we
They were
live dubbed.
very-
It
They
was
were
great.
very good voices.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
I can confirm they were good voices.
Oh my god, he has 10 seconds left.
They're all
What is he going to
That
do?
was good.
They're
That's a
all-
lot.
they're all good voices, Brent.
Exactly.
Yeah, all amazing.
All right.
Did you,
God,
did you ever
wrestling's the
see
best.
Did you ever see Brent getting his own dog? It was great.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
That made me very happy.
Yeah.
He agreed that they were all good dogs.
they are all
Candles,
good
they're
dogs.
keeping.
You can't objectively rate a dog anything less than an 8+ because they're all good dogs.
Unless it's out of 7.
It's true. No, then it could be 8 out of 7.
No, because
Okay.
it's not high enough.
Oh.
Got you there. Hoisted by your own petard.
No, if 7 is the total number, then 8 being 100%, like 101% of the number is okay. It's good.
Not high enough. In this house, we rate dogs at 12s or better.
I don't know about that, buddy. My dog got drunk last week by accident because he refused to eat, and I got a call from. I dropped him off at the groomer because he had to take
The doomer?
gabapentin.
That's where you
His
doom your
sig-
dogs.
He has to take gabapentin because he gets a little bitey and scared. He doesn't like getting stuff touched on him, so I gave him only half the dosage because not even half the dosage because he hadn't eaten. He was refusing to eat. But my
No.
groomer called me 20 minutes after I dropped him off, being like,
Your
There's
dog's
something
hitting on all the
wrong?
waitresses. He's drunk.
no, yes, essentially. But his version of hitting on all the waitresses was that he kept trying to lie down, but he kept forgetting that he was in the yoke, so he kept choking himself by accident and then just being like, I don't know how to get back up. And she asked if I could come, so I went back over and I held my dog up in various positions while she groomed him for an additional 25 minutes.
Nice.
He's a great dog. I want to be very clear. He was the best dog. But your dog is drunk is not the call I thought I would be receiving that
This
day.
music could not be more
Your dog is
inappropriate for
drunk.
this story.
It's a very intense track.
This is called Candlekeep on
Where do you keep the
Tabletop
candles?
audio?
on tabletop audio. Yeah, it's just called Candlekeep.
I
so.
give this track a 5 out of 7.
Part of me wants Candlekeep to have this, but then also the monks, because there's monks in Candlekeep who were called the Avowed, right? And then there's someone who's always singing the chant of Alando the Seer, who's this great prophet in the Forgotten Realms.
Lando
And they're-
Calrissian.
And they never stop. Like, they have to take over for each other. The chant must always continue, and it's been continuing for hundreds and hundreds of years.
That's pretty cool.
And part of me, but there's also the Monty Python bit where they sing in Latin and then they smack themselves in the forehead with the
Yes,
Bible.
yes.
It's like, how do I balance that with the serious thing with a dog hoisting itself by its own petard?
Also makes me think of Hot Fuzz when they have like the cult group that's like commune, communistratus. You're like, this fucking small town is whack.
For the greater good.
Great,
For the
good.
greater good.
All right.
Oh, look, capture them killers then.
Last
Crusty
time
jugglers.
on
Fucking
Dead
love
Ice, our adventurers decided to go to Candlekeep, and here they are in Candlekeep.
Finally.
They took
Keeping
the
the
airship
candles.
down, and they met a lovely little halfling. I have his name.
He likes cookies.
He eats cookies. This doesn't mean, well, he probably likes them, yeah.
He
But,
likes them. We talked about it.
Where did his name go?
He was like, no thanks.
You know how when somebody says something and then like hours later you think of a great comeback,
Mhm.
right? That happened because Darylith Fell said a little thing. He was like, "Oh, this gnome sounds, I don't remember the exact phrasing now, but you said he sounded like the gnome from 4th edition," and I was like, Oh no, it's not gonna be funny now.
Well, you gotta finish the joke now.
Yeah, I need to know why.
It's like
how
the
it
audience.
ends.
It was funnier in my head.
Damn it.
I thought of it 2 days later. I was like, that's really good.
Anyways.
Where did the thing go about the halfling?
I wish to inquire with the Alando priests about that joke. I'm gonna look that up.
Weirdly,
know
it's
what the
not.
record of it is.
I'm afraid it's not in the records.
What kind of a Candlekeep is this?
The prime one.
The one where they burn down.
What?
Candles.
Why would
The
they-
candles burn down.
Here it goes. Guide Spring Summerfoot, a 23-year-old halfling scribe with ink-stained fingers, a love of cookies, and a good memory for the exploits of the Balespon, Abdel Adrian. He's from Candlekeep, you know.
Yeah, he told us all about that last
Well,
time.
he's a real cool guy. I mean, imagine you were like the child of a god, and then you got to be like a cool adventurer, and like you like fought gods and stuff. That'd be really cool. And then you were
Anyways.
like a king of like Baldur's Gate. So yes, you have. We're just gonna move ahead a little bit, and you guys have already submitted your claims
Requests.
for information. Information. We want information. I am the
So,
new
like,
number
you
2.
have the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
You are number 6. And you guys have set yourself up in the inn, which has a name. I believe it's the House of Rest.
I mean,
Appropriate.
it's succinct to the point.
We be resting.
It's a bunkhouse. It's a bunkhouse.
And so you eat, you relax, you change probably into normal clothes because there's no need to carry weapons or anything in Candlekeep. This is an incredibly defended castle. It's not just a keep. Where is the... So the House of Rest is a 3-story bunkhouse in the Court of Air. It provides seekers with a place... That's you. You're the seekers. With a place to rest and store your gear. The rustic accommodations include both private rooms and common rooms. In addition to comfortable lodgings, the House of Rest offers guests peace and quiet. Noisy patrons are directed to the Hearth if they want to continue the revels. The Hearth appears to be a modest tavern from the outside of sturdy construction, with warm light emanating from a pair of small windows on either side of the front door. Upon entering the establishment, though, visitors quickly realize that it's 3 times more spacious on the inside.
Ooh.
The
on
Hearth
the
gained its
inside?
large dimensions courtesy of extra-dimensional magic
my heart.
created by worshippers of Gond. Do you remember the Gond being the god of craft? An intricate clockwork device is suspended in a 2-foot diameter, faintly glowing crystal orb embedded in the ceiling over the bar. The Avowed call this device a geometric amplifier. It is the source of the magic required to maintain the integrity of the enlarged space. The bar seats up to 20 customers, and patrons can also be seated comfortably at round tables with stout wooden chairs or a rectangular table with benches. A dozen soft, cushy armchairs encircle the fireplace in the center of the room. The Hearth's patrons are a mix of fresh-faced adjutants, stodgy scholars, and eclectic guests. For our purposes, this place is mostly empty. I think it's just the kind of season where everyone's like spent a winter in Candlekeep and now kind of fucked off to go do their stuff. And there's probably like people that are going to trickle in, but as the weather gets better. But right now it's like we're going into spring, right? So the weather's kind of dog shit in the Sword Coast, where it's like rainy, but it's the beginning of spring, so it's cold. So towards the end is when it's rainy, and then you want to stay inside all cozy next to the fire, reading your favorite book, like Tales of the Fateful Coin or something like that. So yeah. There's also, for those interested, a bath and steam house. There's a House of the Binder, where a seeker can request a copy of any book or scroll in the library, available to the public. And the work of creating copies is performed by scribes in the House of Binder. The entire text must be replicated, since the Avowed insist on maintaining the scholarly intent and integrity of the original author. They also will like copy books for you. It's very costly though. It's 100 gold to have
Who do
them.
they think we are?
combined.
People that can afford an airship? God damn it.
I mean, your airship's actually fueled by like very cheap stuff, so it's kind of lucky.
I just assume that we throw the
just
potato
meant we
peels
look
in there and call it a day.
It also takes a while because like it takes them weeks to make a facsimile. There's a bunch of other stuff. There's a Temple of Ogma here. There's a clothier's if you would like to do anything like that. There's a smithy and stables. And then there's the Emerald Door, which is the main point of access to the inner world, which you have been let through. At this time. The inner ward is like this whole area. You're not allowed in the Great Library right now. You're just allowed to walk around it, and that's as far as you're kind of let within the inner ward. So what you can do is you can take your books back out into the Court of Air, into the I forget what it's called now.
I'm going to the
Thing.
bathhouse.
I thought you might.
Yeah.
Sorry. So last week we were supposed to have given you our list of things we were researching, or like did we already do that? Because I don't remember.
You already
did.
said we give him everything.
Okay. No, I actually wanted to make a request on something I forgot to message you about.
All right, what would you? Yeah, nobody messaged me with things.
Yeah, that's why I was a little bit like, what did we request exactly? Okay, so I actually wanted
Wait,
to make a
what?
special request.
We made
Sorry.
we did the whole
Yeah,
thing.
we did. I listed off a bunch of stuff.
We
Okay,
did in
okay,
fact
yeah.
list off a bunch of stuff at the end, but like we did.
Yeah, okay.
Girl,
All right.
take
And he-
notes.
I just don't remember. I just don't see the text for it, but I thought we did actually say certain things, but I'm just hoping that's written
We
down
did.
somewhere.
Yeah, we did. We didn't write it down.
Yeah, we went through
because
the whole story that was recounted.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm like, you got a list. I'm looking through
Went through the
Discord.
whole-
I'm like, what
We
list are
literally
you
Yeah,
guys?
we
went
didn't
through.
write
We
it
just
down.
role playing, writing it down
It was
because we
role-playing
told
writing it
and
down.
everything
Hold on.
that we needed.
Okay.
No,
We went
I
through the
have
whole
that
story of
list. I
Belafet,
have
and I
that list
said-
up here.
Okay.
Oh.
So the only thing I didn't mention that I wanted to make a special request on was
Uh-huh.
I want to find books on Jurgle and
Oh, no, you talk, yeah, we talked.
Holy
No, we
Place.
talked about
Okay,
that.
we talked about that.
Yeah.
Remember the
Okay,
whole
okay.
gerbil talk?
We said
Gerbil?
gerbils.
No,
we said
I
what's your face's.
I pushed that out of my
notebook?
memory. Thank you.
All the Belafet stuff.
Mhm.
You learned the kids' names. Remember the whole thing. We were like,
Izair and Medei.
yeah, Issair and Medei. Names of the children, wizard and cleric, carried a replica of the Scimitar of Souls. Thank you.
Where did my lore document go? Or my lore?
But our lore is right here.
Not that lore.
It's you actually. You're holding your own face.
Oh, I was trying to grab you.
No.
My hands don't go through
Oh,
the
I'm
screen.
done.
I don't know
It's
where on
not
Twitch I have to point for
yet.
you. I'm like,
It's you.
Where?
You're the Rocket Man.
I am the.
I packed my
Rocket
bags pre-flight.
burning out these
I
river
have-
hair alone.
Where did it go? Where did my crush you to
Did they use the Dewey Decimal System here, or is it something cooler and magical?
It's magical.
Dewey Decimal is pretty magical.
Hey.
Yo, what the hell? Where is my? I have a book. I have an essay written by someone about
hide
Jurgle,
behind
and I
Steve.
know I have it. I just can't find it.
Have you guys seen the show Midnight Club on Netflix?
I haven't.
By Mike Flanagan.
Eric, you're
Yeah.
muted.
Hell yeah, so good.
The one part that killed me about that show was when she had that book the whole time, and she was like, I don't understand what these numbers mean. And I'm like, you literally have lived in a library like your whole life reading, and you don't know it's the Dewey Decimal System?
Especially in the 90s
forget
when
her.
we all knew the Dewey
I know,
Decimal
when you
System.
needed it. Anyway,
I assume she
Girl
has
figured
she,
it out.
Listen, she grew up in some sort of post-Dewey system where they have a. Damn it!
You mean
It was-
chaos? You mean
it was
the
in the middle
wasteland.
of the Dewey.
I
Dewey-
just, what? What's
They,
the
they,
movie?
they did the do.
What's the movie? God,
still
no,
a
I
great
can't think
show,
of the
though.
actress's name. There's a movie where the guy
Describe.
goes to like put a book away,
Mm.
and then she's like, "Oh, you're just gonna put a book away? You just." So why did we think of that? Just randomly putting books away, whatever the fuck. Parker Posey.
Hey.
Yeah,
I mean, I put books back, but in the right spot.
but that guy just like walks up and just like puts a book on a shelf, you know, like.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah.
That's a crime.
All right.
Rosie's had like a great
Wee,
career. I was
woo.
just thinking about
There
it.
you
Like
go.
I was thinking about it the other day. Like she is exactly the
awesome.
correct. She's exactly the correct level of famous where like the people who get it will recognize her, and most people are just like, I don't know who that lady is. And I feel like that is the ideal level of famous to be.
Plus, she was in Blade Trinity, the best Blade.
It is the best movie. Nobody
Aw.
talked to me. I think I was 13 when that movie came, 14 when that movie came out. I fucking love that movie. It's
All right,
so
Steve,
bad.
I have uploaded
I was
a
more than that.
PDF called "The Lord of the End of Everything," a historical treatise on Jurgle, the pitiless
Sounds
one.
about right.
By I'm sorry, I thought it was by George Cashel. It's by Eric L. Boyd, who also works on a
God.
lot of.
Thank
shit.
you.
Anyway,
My
so there you
cat
go.
is clawing my acoustic phone.
How dare she?
She's doing it for attention. She literally turned to me and went,
Bring
when I
her,
look away, she goes,
Oh, blue steel.
just pulls it back.
get her in the stream. Pick her up.
Blue Steel, Eric. What?
No, if I pick her up, she'll
that
just
from,
and knock everything over.
What's it called? Zoolander?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It is Zoolander.
Because the cat did.
It's you're looking from the left though. So
Can't turn left.
exactly. No.
Figures it out
Magnum.
eventually.
Magnum is the look from the left because
Oh, my
everything
bad,
else.
my bad.
The Tigra, Blue Steel.
It's the same face. How does no one get it? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
It's not. Do you want a more softer look for spring? Okay. I
All
watched
right.
that movie so many fucking times when I was a kid. Oh,
I
can't
love
even
that
tell you.
Alexander Skarsgård is in that movie.
My friends literally bought, like, I have no idea how he did this. He literally got a theatrical poster, like, from, like, a theater's theatrical posters, the ones that are dual-sided, and just gave it to me. I just had a Zoolander poster on my wall for years.
You should still have it up.
I still have it. It's in a tube.
Yeah.
Zoolander.
Walking down the street.
Zoolander.
I believe some of you were going to read about Icewind Dale and Icewind Dale 2. Is that?
Yes, we
You have
have
notes.
done so. In
Okay, so
our...
So I don't need to explain those games again.
Ew.
No,
You
you can
can
just go
for
ahead.
the stream if you want.
No, just go read the
Want me
wiki.
to read it out loud?
No, please no. It's so long.
So long.
It's so long. They're long games. They're good. Icewind Dale
I
was made
talk
in
really
a
fast, so I could do it in like
Well, it was...
3 minutes.
It was a time when I feel like cocaine was more plentiful.
year. Nope. BioWare
The
Crunch,
town of
baby.
Easthaven, the
The
party of
BioWare
adventurers.
magic.
How
Um,
else does you think crunch happens?
Anyway.
We don't let crunch happen anymore.
We first.
Oh yeah, that's a problem that we have certainly solved, along with
We have
sexual
solved-
harassment in the workplace.
We have solved it
Solved.
by delaying
Racism
games.
solved. Okay? We solved it. It's gone.
The ills of
Um,
the world.
They're
been-
starting to unionize little by little. We can only hope for the best.
I literally had a whole unionization talk with a friend of mine who is like, she's like, I don't know what to do about my workplace. I'm like, have you considered unionization? She's like, I feel like our workplace isn't big enough. I'm like, it
Doesn't
is.
matter. That's
It
not.
is big enough, and more importantly, you can.
It's the whole point of a union is that other people in other industries will strike with you so that we'll shut this whole fucking system down.
Put it to the ground.
Okay.
In
So
case you guys are wondering, we are pro-union on this podcast.
So we are.
And if anyone feels differently on this podcast, don't tell me.
I've
It's one of
never
the
even
best-
had a union at any job I had.
I'm in the union right now.
Hey!
Yeah.
Good
I'm
for
in
you.
the- yeah.
I am currently
I have
a
a-
union
I have
representative.
a
I've only ever been in the
pension.
student union
That's a union.
college.
But not
I'm
the same.
I'm in the
anymore.
actual
I
like
meant it
full.
was a literal place. It wasn't even a group.
No,
No,
I'm
but
not.
student
I'm in a
union used
special
to be-
part-time union.
I was a card-carrying Chinese engineer in university. Not even in the engineering program, but I did get a card from the club.
Why does Chinese engineers sound like a different school of engineering?
They had
And
their
also-
own club. It was a separate engineering club. That's why
Oh
I was
my
able to get a
God.
card.
That's racism. Exclusion.
Yeah, but we hadn't conquered racism yet. That was in the 90s.
Oh, okay.
I'm in 2000.
It was way back in the 1980s.
Have we
when
conquered
secret
it?
government-
Emotional damage.
Anyway.
We totally conquered racism.
By
Okay,
the way,
basically-
happy Black History Month, everyone.
Oh yeah, that too.
I'm not a fan. Every month is Black History Month. Fuck that shit. Black History
Well, I
is
agree.
global. It's Black History is not just one month. It's all of American history and lots of parts of Canadian history. So
But until we
Remember the
get
time that a black woman had to shame us into ending slavery? Pepperidge Farms remembers.
You still haven't
Okay,
ended
wow.
slavery here, so.
There's
I was
actually
trying to
more
figure out how you're
enslaved
gonna tie that to
people.
Laura's secret.
There's more
but
enslaved
Pepperidge
people in the
Farm's
world
better.
now than ever before, probably.
Well, there's
There's
also
more
more
people
people in the
now.
world.
That's true.
And it turns out that we
The
tend to
US
live
has
longer.
the most.
God damn it, we're not
enslaved.
going to stop buying cell phones for anything. So, and socks.
Stay positive.
Ooh, I
kids.
like that expression.
Make the world a better
We're not going to
place.
stop buying cell phones for anything.
No. The facial expression that Lauren had there was a good one.
I call it the sad Jabba.
Oh,
You gotta get the
good.
full.
Let's all sad Jabba.
Wait,
That'll
wait.
be the screen chat for this episode.
Jabba, no.
No! Not the sad Jabba. How will I
This is-
ever find a boyfriend?
This is called
I
thumb
have-
face. I don't know what you mean. This is thumb. When you take a picture. Like
Oh,
this,
that's true. I also have thumb face. You're right. It's true.
thumb
No,
face
I
is
do.
great.
No, it's
Don't
great because
you
I have
lose your neck.
I have a Tyra Banks 5-head. So you gotta do
Five-
this. That's what she called it. She called it the 5-head.
I have a
My-
forehead.
You have a forehead
double
and then you
chin.
have a 5-head.
My favorite thing
And a
is when my
heart full of
friends,
dreams.
when my very thin friends try to do it and they only have the one chin
It's so cute.
and they can't do it and you're like, oh bless, like you can't, yeah.
You gotta squish up.
Can't even go
Yeah.
full.
They don't
Jabba.
even have a. Here's the thing, they don't even have
Sad
enough
life.
skin
Just kidding.
to make another. It's like, yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
D&D.
That's going on TikTok.
No!
It is.
Please, no!
He
I
was
did
like,
consent to my image being distributed in such a way.
I'm fine. I'll go full Jabba for TikTok.
Jabba for
Never
TikTok.
go full Jabba.
I'm gonna walk down the street with a sign that says "Will Jabba for TikTok."
Choop Chawa.
Then that
Alright.
one you can put on the TikTok.
Oopa
No
chupa solo.
context.
Okay,
Don't worry, I saved it for TikTok.
we are
The
in Candlekeep. So because you guys read a lot of this stuff, you kind of understand where a lot of things are coming from. Where there's a lot of scattered accounts. There is a journal from Merrily, and it's
that was
a
the
much
most important thing.
it's a much briefer explanation. And the sad thing is, like, the names of the heroes are not mentioned in there for whatever reason. Because that's also one of Merrily's like earliest journals, because she was a child when she wrote the one about the original events in Kuldahar. So we're starting now. We're starting now. When will then be now?
Soon.
So
Two
once again,
answers.
Gabe's just like, oh my god, why can't anybody remember my friends' names? It's very frustrating.
Sucks to be you, Gabe.
Yeah, it does. And
There has to be county records. They may not have them. but-
county records.
County?
Or like Dale records, city records.
Do you know how many times the Dales have been flipped over and rewritten? Like,
No, Cormier would be great because like that's where the Dales are. But most people aren't from that region.
I'm just
so
gonna travel the whole world checking every library for some goddamn records.
it would take
let's go on this
so
side
long.
quest. Let's find out all of Gabe's friends.
Just
names.
where they were born,
Instead
who
of-
their
instead
parents
of the-
were.
But their
No, forget the
star
demon
sign
gate.
is-
Welcome to Deadeye, sponsored by
what's their
History.com.
rising?
Wait,
Yeah,
what's the
Ancestry.
website? Ancestry.com.
Ancestry.ca.
There we go.
Oh.
I recently learned about the whole
If they
rising
sponsored
and
us?
moon and sun and stuff. and I
No,
was like,
Steve, no, it's a joke. We're
yeah,
not sponsored. It's a joke.
Rising Sun
I
and Moon,
recommend
very
you
significant.
can. There's places that you can
Absolutely.
get your full chart. It won't be like a proper one, but it'd
no,
be
I
like
got it all. I had to do
Uh,
it because I met up with my East Coast VO friends, and they were like,
we must
"You're
know.
Pisces," and they were like,
What is your
was the exact
Pisces?
time?" And I
What
was
is your?
like,
I'm so curious.
I'll send it to you later.
What?
Oh,
What?
please.
what is
Yeah, well,
this?
Pisces is
I'm
not
talking
the
about
thing.
astrology, but like
Learning
more precise
astrology.
charts.
It's great.
Oh.
Because the
Don't believe
position
it,
of
but
all the
it's-
planets.
My
at-
boyfriend and I have the
to do
same
it, it's-
Venus, and I
it's not
have
so-
a
it's not
large
so
amount of
basic.
Capricorn in my in my chart, which is very.
I love
My-
David's
You should
expression.
see.
My,
No.
my mom's a Bulbasaur, but I'm really more of a Squirtle. But you know,
Sagittarius.
the way our
Scorpio
the way
moon,
our Pandora
Gemini
is
rising.
rising
I'm
in
fucking chaos.
in
Something space whales.
The space whales would be better.
back
Sea's
to
way
the
of water?
show.
What do you
Wait,
mean
is
the show
there
never
astrology on the Sword Coast? There has
no,
to be astrology.
because Ed Greenwood is a man of science.
We're already playing fantasy.
There's no. If you want, that's why you
Edward?
like Skyrim. Because there's astrology. It's built in. Oh my god. Yeah, no, none of that. Nobody believes in that in my world. No. You know why? Because the gods are real things that you can like meet, and the gods are like, yeah, no, that doesn't. No.
Lauren, I'll DM you my stats.
Please and thank you. Yeah, I'll forward.
Yeah, actually, I'm interested in those too. If you guys don't mind sharing with me,
Yeah,
I'll try to get
absolutely.
I'll try to get my precise chart again too.
I'll see
All
how
my
compatible
characters are
it is.
Scorpios.
I got a
I don't-
rising.
What does that mean?
Anyway,
My moon, my personal moon is a Scorpio.
I don't know what that means.
I think I had a
Fuck is
moon
personal
in
moon?
Virgo, which is
My,
what
my
gives
not
me a lot of
personal
my
moon. No, no, no,
analness.
no, 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 no. I meant like me personally am a Scorpio moon. That's what I meant.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, I didn't learn about personal moons. What
No, 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 no.
You
That doesn't exist.
know when you want to scream, but you don't have a limiter on, and people are
Yes.
sleeping 3 houses down.
Yeah.
I think I have a
gain
limiter.
is already too high.
I have a
You're like,
limiter in my OBS, but my mic is not going through OBS. It's going straight to Eric through Discord.
And I have a limiter,
Um,
so it's okay.
I don't think we're gonna get very far this session. We are.
I
That's
think we
the-
are.
I'm just reminded of the Stephen
Okay.
Toast bit where he's like, yes, yes, yes. Stephen, have you tried to know? And he goes, and then you just scream so high pitched it. Okay, so
All right, so the books, yes, and the resting area.
The children of Belafet. There's a story about. I think I told part of this story,
Yes,
but I
you
don't
did.
know if you know that it's the women of Kuldahar who were impregnated by Belafet.
No, you didn't
Some-
tell us that.
This
Hmm,
this is what I think
yeah.
last week I had a disclaimer. Like this is when shit gets dark. This was also
Yes,
written in the
that's right.
90s.
I hadn't quite gotten to the.
Like Cambians,
blown
I,
part.
like there's children of Celestials are usually like, oh, it's my little Hercules, yay!
Hercules.
Zeus turned into a bull and fucked me. Versus like in the case of Belafet, who was just a straight up devil and was like, I'm gonna trick you all and make you have half devil babies.
We'll skip how that happens.
Well, some of the people in Kuldahar followed Belafet in the skies of Brother
Oh,
Pokellen, right?
So they were happy. About it. Open to it?
Well, what
Either
is
way.
happiness?
Some of
even?
them
Happens.
were.
We'll skip ahead. We'll skip ahead.
They were like full in on his messaging of like, yeah,
Okay.
I'm a priest and stuff. So there's a whole lot of like
Drank the
layers of bad to this. Anyway, the mother of those children, after she found out her children were, as she put it, monsters, threw herself from the mountain. Happy times.
Thanks.
Appreciate that. That
Mhm.
would be
That's a
unfair, but
that's a important. Just that's an important note that was,
We'll write it down.
in my brain it links perfectly to the events that happened in Kuldahar earlier for you all, but I don't control what
Yeah.
players interact with. So,
Did we miss something?
you did,
You did.
yes, yes. There were hints. There were hints earlier, but I can't. Hints are.
We're
Yeah,
not
they're
good yet.
Sure.
What great music! for this song.
I'm glad I
gotta
can't
fix
hear
it. I gotta fix
no,
it.
it's good. It's important because
Oh, we're
we need to
Ugh.
know how to act in public, and sorry. When I say we, that is an
mean Danby?
unfair brush. But yeah, it's just the
Yeah.
one. Everyone else is a normal person.
Anywho, what else did we learn?
Um,
Hopefully less fuckery.
you know Belafet's dead. You know how his children operated, and this is when you learn. See, I don't know how people are supposed to know this, because they say it right. It's explicit, but when the severed hand, the citadel of what originally was called the Hand of the Selvarine, it was an old elven fortress in the Spine of the World Mountains as a part of an old elven empire that the leaders, Azera and Medea, had taken as the headquarters of the Legion of the Chimera, which was the order of like half-breeds and whatnot. It crumbled as they see the if you read the thing, it says they died, but no one knows that they died.
Because they
The Hand of the Selvarine fell into the plane of
We
limbo.
went to another plane.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's just gone.
And this is when you start asking questions about the plane of limbo, because this is not a well-known place. Limbo is a place of pure chaos. It is in direct opposition to Mechanus, which is the plane of pure light. It's lawful neutral, whereas Limbo is chaotic neutral.
Chaotic neutral. Yeah.
There's other chaotic planes like the winds, the whatever Pandemonium is like a super windy place, but Limbo is, and it's easy to get kind of like a cursory, so you're planning a trip to Limbo. You know, like a little pamphlet. Like they just got all the different planes, right? And they're like,
Yeah, Limbo sucks. It's not really.
Go,
for us.
can you go?
Limbo is home to things like the Githzerai,
Yeah, exactly.
who are the counterpart to the Githyanki. They are interplanar enemies of
Yeah.
the Mind Flayers, who
Yeah,
are
this-
lawful aligned and who have decided to master chaos. But it's also home to terrible things like, oh my god, I'm gonna forget their names now.
Man, right?
The Slod or
Oh,
Slotty,
the Slod, sorry. Yes.
Yeah,
Which-
Slod.
are giant toad-like, not quite demons,
Great one.
because they are chaotic
we
and they
have
are
friends.
evil, and they are a menace, because
it
they are very dangerous.
Yeah, Limbo's the worst. I like to think of it as, Supergirl, like outside of the dome, that kind of. Wait, did you get that reference? You know what I'm talking about? Fuck, man, I'm old. All right, never mind. Go on, David.
Super like the.
I got it.
A movie.
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever saw that movie.
Oh.
Well,
okay.
it's basically a bunch of lights and a bunch of howling wind. So
I
there you
grew up
go.
in the
Limbo.
'90s. We weren't allowed to watch movies about girls.
True, that was like the only one. in
I was
the
able to
80s,
watch
too.
I'm unmuting to say
Bloodsport
lol.
and Predator and Alien and Die
What
Hard.
about
but not-
Terminator 2?
No, I mean we had it on VHS. I was actually gonna say that's not true because we grew up. We watched a lot of League of Their Own.
I have
A lot.
successfully derailed the game again.
That is being a menace.
So Limbo
Limbo.
is
Yeah, it
is
sucks.
incredibly dangerous.
Yeah, I don't want to go there.
And one of the key features of Limbo is that time does not work the same in Limbo. Much like the Astral Sea where Gabe was trapped, where time is essentially frozen for the individual, but may pass outside of it. Limbo, time passes at like random intervals. And it's different in different parts of Limbo. So before I move on, does anybody have any questions about how that works?
I mean, I could suggest another way of explaining it as well.
Sure,
We have basically there are various levels of reality. Right, we exist in what do they call our reality?
The prime
You
material
say
plane.
limbo,
material.
how low can you go?
Well, that's not
How
totally
s-
wrong.
I think more
Limbo
accurately is
exists
how
between-
slow can you go?
Hate when they think I'm serious.
I'm trying to role play my character who is always unimpressed with all of you. All right, so what was I saying? I believe Limbo is in between the elemental planes and the prime material. Is that correct?
Limbo is an outer plane.
I know it's an outer plane, but it straddles between the elemental planes and the prime
The
material.
elemental planes are in between the inner planes and the outer planes. It also depends on your view, because if
All right.
like
I think I follow an older cosmology, so never mind. Let's just move on. Because I used to think of the astral and the limbo planes as being the borders between the
No,
outer planes and the elemental planes.
no, you're thinking
Sounds
of
like we
either-
have an astrological divide.
there's
I was gonna make that joke too.
the astral sea is a transitional plane, like the ethereal plane or the plane of shadow or the Feywild. Those are somewhat concurrent with the material plane, and then there's like intermediate planes, like the elemental planes, and then the outer planes are all aligned in terms of good, evil, law, and chaos. Because elemental planes are all neutral, right? So
Yes.
but they can like shift, and then you get like a slightly lawful part of the plane of fire or a slightly evil part of the plane of fire and stuff like that.
The
right?
point I was trying to make is that all things are derived from a pure form, a essential quality of those things.
Yeah, if you're a fan of
And-
Play-Doh,
I
Love Play-Doh.
like.
Do I have a
like
game for you?
Play-Doh quite a lot. Anyway, my understanding of how the universe and gods and all of that works is that yes, if there is something that exists in our plane of existence, there is a purer version of it from which it derives its essence.
and Limbo is the purest form of chaos.
Yes, it has
I
no
don't-
form. It has no.
I have a
Is
question.
Zanin holding her hand up, or is
Danon's holding
Bridget?
their hand up.
To
Xanon,
whom? I'm not sure.
speak.
Just to the
Probably
group. This is like
me.
a study group right now. So hold on. 1 second.
Oh, no,
We
I
know that
shouldn't
the
have
mother
brought
like
this.
threw herself from that mountain. What was the mother's name? That was not in my book.
That's true.
You'll have to give me a second.
I'm reading Braille, by the way, so maybe I just like missed it a little bit. But I'm pretty good at making sure I get.
It'll be,
Do they
it'll
have
be
Braille
Pretty
copies?
hilarious.
I
skilled
hope
at
they
making
do.
sure.
Do they have
Really good with my
Braille? Have
fingers.
mother's
You know,
name?
never had that.
Their
happen to me.
mother was Ilmadia or Ilmadia, and Gabe's like, I remember her.
Ilmater?
No,
I was gonna say it's similar. but
Named
no.
well,
after
Brother Pokellen, the guys that Belafet wore, was a priest at the temple of Ilmater in Kuldahar, right? Like, that's the whole
He's
thing.
the ill mother.
The woman is dead.
No, I didn't say that in
Dark, man.
character.
Um,
Yeah. So
Anna
Alright.
goes back to reading.
So I like it was in Kuldahar, you know, I missed a lot of the clues and a lot of the things that were important. We have all this additional information now and possible
Mhm.
children and possible connections to a whole place that may have fallen into limbo. But I don't totally understand how we can use this to, I don't know, approach Gabe's situation or our captain's situation exactly. Like it's
So what? See, Gabe is trying to do something maybe a little different from the rest of you. Gabe is trying to figure out why he would suddenly come back now and what would cause that. So he's like, oh, limbo. Let's look into that. And like he
Fair.
like delves deeper and deeper. And he's like, oh, the plane of limbo. Time works differently. And he's like, okay, these two were powerful spellcasters. What's some fun spells that you can use? You know.
okay.
Like,
oh, that's good.
and
Yeah,
if you
makes
like,
sense.
you were reminded earlier that like, yeah, like people aren't supposed to be able to travel through time anymore, right? Like that's supposed to be not
Mhm.
allowed since this like the second Sundering has started. This whole
Or
process
since
of
Terminator, yeah.
Genesis.
They just said cut that shit off.
So Gabe's like, I don't understand what you like how do you like travel through time? Like what does that mean? Like how does that like you can't like go meet your younger version of yourself, obviously. Like that doesn't make any sense.
I think you're overthinking it. I mean, your experience wasn't anything like that at all. You were just held in time. It's very different from actually looping back and meeting another version of yourself.
Right, but like they're telling me he's like, but like obviously like referencing like sages in the books and stuff like that, because he's just like he's reading Back to the Future, he's reading Back to the Future Part 2, Back to the Future Part 3, you know.
That one was the confusing one. I'm going to be
Yeah.
lie.
And he's like,
It
this
has a
isn't
train in it. That's pretty wild.
like everybody says this isn't how this works, and it's never worked like this, and because like there's accounts where people have claimed to have time traveled, right?
And they seem, but they're not. People lie in books all the time.
There's an account of someone called the Hero of Neverwinter who went back to the ancient Saruk Empire and fought like a lich or something. And he's
That's
like,
a lie.
this is, I don't know, this was like 50 years ago. I don't know what to tell you.
But she had a mighty boomstick.
But he did.
He's like, well, if you can't meet yourself,
Smart.
like, what if you could just send yourself a
Smart.
message?
That's smart. You got that? All right. Reference.
Ecto,
Reference.
No, it's
Parada.
no, it was Klaatu.
Clock too, I
Barada,
know. I realized
Two
that.
Next
after.
time.
Barada yeah.
Nocturne. Nickel. Must have been an 50 years
Maybe I
ago
stood
though was a
still.
long time. I mean, in the time you've been gone, the nature of time and faith,
Okay,
I
this
would say, has
But this is
changed.
what I mean. Like, if things have changed, does that mean you can fuck with things in different ways?
Yes, that's typically what things changing.
Well,
means.
using the dialect of the unapproachable East, which is the only way I can understand what you just said, I think that possibly you can't fuck with things the way you used to now. Maybe not. I don't know.
No, but what I'm saying is you can fuck with them in different ways now.
See, where I come
I think
from,
you're
there's
being
a
generous.
saying, okay?
Oh,
There's a
no.
saying, look around and find out. So I say,
heard
yeah,
that
it's
one.
anything's
Okay,
possible.
that wasn't as bad as I was hoping. Don't finger crossbow me.
Finger crossbow.
This is my little gun hand. Little gun finger.
Oh my god.
Fingers
How
This is
does-
the
crossed,
longest
bro.
I've ever studied, guys. This is like an
Just-
all-nighter.
I don't really
know.
know what to say because I mean we're still.
Well, Gabe's not a spellcaster, so he's like, I don't know how I don't know how, and like it's different now. Like I don't even know how it worked then, but I don't know how it works now. But like,
I'm just trying to dissuade him from thinking.
Maybe
that
there's like
all
somebody
just
now
fits
that
now.
knows how to do time magic.
Okay,
Is that outlawed?
that's
Is it
fair.
illegal?
no, what I'm saying is maybe they don't have to do time magic because if time
Oh,
moves
time just
differently
does
in
the magic.
limbo,
Oh, they
and
just
you get out of limbo,
Hey, then you traveled, yeah.
it's like Endgame and all of that, right?
It's like the realm itself is a car. No, you just hop in the car and then you leave the car and then you're somewhere else because you already moved somewhere. The car's doing its own thing.
No,
So.
I
My
wasn't in
God.
limbo. Someone else is in limbo,
No, you
right?
were in the astral plane, and planes just do their shit, and then you hop.
No,
out
but
and
but
you
what
stay
does
here.
someone else being in limbo have to do with your time problem?
Well, because that's another time problem, right?
Different time problems, and also gods don't care about time. They'll stay as long as they want to, or leave when they want to.
I don't mean gods. I mean these
I mean
kids.
the children. Yeah.
The
Children,
children
that
of
were, like,
gods?
in no,
Well,
the
children
two
of the
kids
devil.
of Belafet. Two Belafet kids were in this other realm, which is the time realm, right?
Well, it's not
Time
time
moves
realm, yeah.
differently there depending on where
Yeah.
you're at. Yeah, I know it's limbo.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
anyway, let me
Okay.
explain in character what my brain is processing during this little study club late at night.
No,
and
that
we're
was
not even
Gabe
drinking
correcting you.
alcohol.
That was Gabe being like, no. We got to get this right.
Now, Gabe. Um, so anyway, we're saying if that is a problem that can happen, we know that they could possibly try and travel that way. And Gabe also did that in the astral plane, just floating around, and then came back, and all of a sudden, time was different.
Are we
Two
suggesting
different
that
time
the
problems
two
can exist at once, but they could also be connected. We don't know.
But are we suggesting that Gabe's return is connected to the potential of those children returning?
Did you know?
at the same
Wait, do you knew
time?
the kids? Did Gabe know the kids?
No,
No,
but
he's
we were
connected to the
told
instant.
but I was told I broke time, right? Like it's my fault time is broken, but I didn't do anything, right?
Well,
So
I'm
maybe
not
it was a
totally
little
sure
bit of
about that, but-
time leaking out of that other plane that stuck to you. You know what I mean? You got stuck in time. They kind of
Like
time gently held you and like caressed you and whispered
Like-
sweet nothings in your ear.
I wish I
You
was
You
a
just
chrono
floated in the
jurist
astral
right now.
plane.
from your point of view here on Faerun, they've been gone for 100 years.
Dirty, sure, yeah, because the heroes did it 100
Or
years
something
ago.
like
Yeah.
that, or like I don't know how long, right?
You've been gone multiple
How long?
100 years?
But like for me, it felt way longer, but I didn't age, right? And for them, we have no idea. They could feel like they've been there forever,
for
or
5
it could have been
minutes.
5 minutes, but it's been how we don't. But what I'm saying is like, what if they got out and that's what fucked things up, right? Because all this stuff is related to them and their dad and shit, right?
Okay.
Probably escaped, or they left somehow once they figured it out. They're smart.
But
They're
why
magic
would they
users.
go back to East Haven?
Doesn't mean they're
The-
in East
the
Haven. They could
portal?
be anywhere. Finishing their dad's plan. Remember,
But their
Belafet
dad's
was
plan
like,
was-
I'm going to come through with an army and fuck shit up. And then that lady was like, no, no, no.
Didn't they fight in the Blood War too?
Well, everybody fought in the Blood War eventually.
They did. They
They
did fight
let
in the
me-
Blood War.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
they
of
did.
course they did. I read that. It's in my book.
Yeah.
Very
And
good
didn't-
at studies.
And he fought in the Blood War too. So maybe that's the whole. Maybe that's their whole thing is that they want to take over here so they could. It's a thing for the Blood War. I don't know that fucking demons or whatever.
All right. Assuming this is all true, then the return of these wayward
Cambions.
children, Cambions, who fell out of time and space and have returned through limbo to continue this ridiculous blood war, which is eternal.
So is that who we spoke
gotta
to when
kill
we were
them.
in Kuldahar? Is that who the lady was?
I'm so disconnected from what happened in Kuldahar because I missed all the clues.
Oh, I just think she ended up, she was like a fiend or something.
no, we
No,
don't know
but-
anything. We don't
Wait,
know
what-
anything
what
about
are
what
Cambrians?
happened.
Are Cambrians not fiends?
Cambions.
just saying-
Cambions would be considered a type of
We
fiend.
just know
yes.
that she wasn't
Half-fiend.
really the person she was supposed to be. We don't actually know.
But did-
still jumping.
She
but-
gave
we don't
everybody
know.
the
look-
creeps a little bit, right? Especially at the end,
Yeah.
she gave
Oh,
everybody
yeah.
the creeps.
Super
You
creeps.
can go back through
No,
my
but-
notes.
No, but like, one, she stole your little orb, And like, if I guess you're trying to like amass power, why wouldn't you want to steal your stupid little orb that you kept from us and you caused problems?
Better
And,
me
like-
than her.
Derelith fell. This is the DM speaking.
Yeah, I know. He lost the orb.
You recall that the thing you fought, right,
Yes.
was a Yugoloth,
Yes.
and she banished that Yugoloth, right?
Yes.
And you're well aware that Yugoloths work for money. They are mercenaries.
Yes.
Right?
Neutral evil. Yes.
They don't just go out and do stuff for no reason,
Okay.
right? And they can be
Yeah, she sent it at us.
they can be paid to fight in the blood
No,
war, because if they die, they just go back to their plane. They don't have to. They can fight on any plane essentially, except for their own,
Okay.
right? And that's just information for you. That
But if
you
there's a
recall
blood
is
war
that-
I still have
happening, I
a
don't-
hard time.
So
All right, I
guys,
still have a little bit of a
metagame
hard
time.
time of understanding. Like, okay, so
We
I
need
don't
a
want to go down the wrong
conspiracy
path.
theorist for this show.
No, that's the problem though. Like, it's too open ended, right? Okay, so if we're okay, let me go before you go. So if we're assuming that, because I feel like I'm making leaps here. I don't totally see
Make a
this
leap.
connection.
That's the whole point. Is you gotta make a leap.
Assuming that the person in charge of Kuldahar is actually not who they claim to be and is possibly related to this limbo, city dropping out of reality story, and has returned and has actually been there for who knows how long, and then hired a Yugoloth to grab my orb to amass power. That's one theory. Like, there's 5 huge assumptions in there as far as I'm concerned. Okay, but
Here we go.
I don't see the proof of that. That's a thing.
I'll clear it up then. I just went back in my notes, and the reason we know she's not the Archdruid is because when we left Kuldahar, after your orb and stuff was stolen and everything was weird, we left and Gabe followed us out. And while talking to Gabe, while we were traveling that road where we came across 3 kobolds in a trench coat, he straight up said, he is not actually an Archdruid. Like, that, she is a liar. That is how we got that info. So we know, at
Oh,
least,
yeah.
that she is not an Archdruid. She's not who she says she is.
Okay, well, I'll
Most
turn to Gabe
likely-
right now then. Why did you say that very specific line, and why do you not think that she's the Archdruid or a Archdruid?
Well, I met an Archdruid a long time ago for you, and he was the Archdruid. And then when we came back, that wasn't the Archdruid. He'd been murdered in his attic.
Oh, the
Wait,
dude
wait,
that
wait,
we
wait,
met
the
in the
tower?
castle?
Arundel was the Archdruid of Kuldahar when I was there.
Oh, the tower
Your
where
friend,
we
The
met
tower we
you.
crawled in through. Remember when we were?
Yeah.
Nope,
Fucking
that's
around.
Oric the Grey. You're talking
Oh,
about
okay,
Oric
yeah.
the Grey.
Yeah, we
Okay,
are.
this
His
is where I'm
body?
getting
Yeah.
confused.
No.
Okay, this is where I'm getting
The
confused.
Archdruid is the person who protects the Hearthstone gem. We recovered the Hearthstone gem for Arundel, but Arundel was murdered and replaced when we went. Like,
Okay.
originally it was Arundel, and he was murdered later. And everything we read about Belafet is that he does the same fucking thing again and again and again, right? He just tries, I'll just take over part of the realms. I'll do it in East Haven. I'll do it in the Dragonspear Castle, right? It's the same fucking thing again and again and again. So why wouldn't his kids do the same stupid shit again?
Is connected because the whole reason we went to Kuldahar is we wanted her to use that Hearthstone gem for us to look to peer into East Haven. Remember?
Oh,
and
yeah.
but when we showed up,
Well,
she
yeah.
was like, "Well, why would I do this for you? You have to do something for me." But
Yeah.
remember, we
And-
never ended up finishing the mission for her.
Well,
because we
she
couldn't
asked
find
us
the
to do
corruption.
something and we did it for
No,
her,
no.
and she
That
still
was
wasn't
super
happy.
vague.
No, here's the thing. It's because she was like, destroy the corruption in that area, remember? And we found a corrupted creature, but it wasn't the heart of the corruption. So it was like a task we couldn't possibly do. So in a way, it's a good thing we didn't do it for her because she's not who she said she was. Or we would have been helping the devil.
The second thing she gave you was to go all
To
the
go
way.
fight some devils.
Well, to go.
In-
Yeah, because she said she was trying to keep a portal closed. I don't know if that one was devils. That one might be demons. I'll have to remember. In a forest, I believe in the high forest, which is like way on the other, like towards the Anarok Desert. It's quite a ways away.
'Cause
And
we
it was
we
on the
ran
other
into that
side of the
corrupted
Silver
Yeti.
Marches as well, right? Where you
No,
know
fuck
there's a
that
war
Yeti.
going on.
Yeah.
She sent the Yeti to us too.
No, because here's the thing.
No, don't jump to
So the whole thing is we wanted to be able to...
encounters.
No, because remember when at first we were going to agree with what she was saying and do what she wanted, she was like, you should go to Hellgate Dell,
Yeah.
Hellgate
seal
Dell,
the
yeah.
portal from within, right?
She said she was trying to keep a portal closed there, and that's
And
what
that's why
was
she
using
couldn't
all the
And
power
that's
of the
where we
Hearthstone
started to
gem.
head on the road with Gabe when we
Yes.
left the town. But then Gabe was like, yo, that lady ain't who she says she is. And then we started thinking, and then we're like, we got to research more.
Yo.
I have
Oh.
the notes, guys. It's starting to finally line up.
Yeah.
Holy shit,
So-
it's starting to make sense.
Well, can everybody roll
Sorry,
me an
Dave.
intelligence? No one's figured this out. Can everybody roll me an intelligence check?
What are we intelligence?
An intelligence
took
check.
so many
Just an
hiatuses.
intelligence check.
No, but is it regarding like history?
It's just an intelligence check. Just roll an
Straight
intelligence
intelligence roll.
check.
It's a 16.
You're not getting a bonus. You just roll your intelligence.
I got a 3.
Derelith Fell is so fucked up without his orb that he's so blinded.
No, it's not even without the orb. I'm very lost, so it's fine. I don't even
Well,
need to
I rolled a
roleplay
4,
this.
so.
Oh, that's not good. You actually figured it out. Fuck.
I got a
Oh, right.
17.
DC was
No,
a
everything
4
you
now.
says makes sense. But
This is why I
I
always
still
take
think we're
notes.
making a lot of leaps.
Yeah.
Oh no, we have to take notes.
I
For
feel
sure.
like I know at
Bambi,
the end
what
of
did
the
Bambi
session
get?
what happened.
16.
And
Yes, thank
Marcus?
God. Thank God,
17.
Bambi.
17. Okay.
Good.
Yes,
Alright.
yes.
I'm gonna give it to Marcus because also
Marcus makes the most
Eric
sense.
doesn't talk enough during shows.
That's what I mean.
I listen and I'm
Yeah, I
like,
know.
Starting and
He's-
thinking.
He's the
Marcus.
least performative
Also,
part.
Bambi is
He's
not
very,
really
Marcus
trying
Ryan.
right now. She's
physical.
reading Marilee's
I-
book.
Marcus
She's
Ryan,
not-
you're hearing this whole thing going back and forth, and you're reminded of a tale of a republic that fell into an empire where its leader played both sides,
I don't like this reference.
and you realize
It's
that
very lame.
when the Yugoloth came, it came for the orb, and it came silently. Like the only reason you guys were aware is because Derelith woke up and was warned by the orb, right? Which is not, and the orb has not been super active as far as you can tell. And then you guys were fighting the Yugoloth, and were not super winning.
nope.
And then the Archdruid defeated. Actually, she banished the Yugoloth,
Yeah.
and then browbeat Derelith Fell, being like, "I can't believe you would let that thing in here." And at the time, you guys were like, "Wow, she's really strong."
Yeah.
But now you're like, "Wow, she was really mean. She like really laid into you guys."
we thought she was mean then.
No,
Don't worry.
he wasn't. She like
and then
told us off.
she
That's why we left.
demanded
Yeah, we leave.
that
Yeah, you
you
give her
not
the-
only leave, but you leave the orb.
Yeah.
And if it's such a vile artifact, a real archdruid wouldn't want that in her grove.
She would want that
She'd banish it
destroyed.
or something.
She would if it can't be destroyed, she would probably banish it to like another plane, like somewhere like the plane of fire where it's not really accessible, right? Rather than, oh, I'll just hold on to it.
I'll give it back to you if you can prove that you can take care of it.
Like your
That
mom
was-
taking
that's
away your
why we were
toys.
like-
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
that's
that's what
why
it
we
felt
were-
like, right? It was very snarky.
And
like-
we were under the assumption we had fucked up her town the whole
Yeah.
time we were there, and we were the intruders and the assholes.
There was no damage done to the town, right?
No,
like
the
the
people are
inn
weird.
sustained very minor damage, and the Yugoloths, you're like, wow, those were very professional soldiers. They really,
Well, as players,
yeah.
we came into a town with a dark orb, and we thought we were dealing with the ramifications of bringing
Mhm.
something that was a bad object into a we thought was a good town.
It's because
See now.
two of you overtly seem to believe that this orb is evil, but
Oh, yeah.
Derelith Fell does not, and as a cleric, he doesn't feel any evil emanating from it. It feels like it is like the most neutral object in his grasp. It doesn't radiate anything like that. It feels like it's a part of the universe, like a natural part of the universe.
If only
Mhm.
Derelith explained that to us.
Instead of
Oh,
saying, "Well,
no.
I'm holding on to this."
Derelith did. Derelith did. I
Yeah.
remember. He was
You
like,
don't-
no, because
You
Bambi
remember,
got
you remember
mad.
this character here? I'm pointing at the short one.
I know.
Explain what? To whom? When? Sorry.
no.
Please
I
continue.
turned him invisible because I was so mad that he had wrought us
Yeah.
with evil.
Remember, and she silenced him. So he
Yeah.
had to walk with us in
Oh,
silence
yeah.
and mute.
Okay, it's
So
okay.
we as players were very mean to Derelith.
There are gods who
I
are looking
always
over
wished
you. I brushed my arm over her shoulder gently.
Because I'm trying real hard to tie everything together. Everything.
All right.
So
So
it's all making sense now.
So this woman's not an archdruid. She's fucking doing. She took your orb. She took
She
it.
did.
Took my herb. My herb.
We gotta go back for that.
She's
You know what? She
she's-
didn't even think I was hot. Something was always up.
There was always something.
Really was
You're
always
very
up. I did so
attractive,
many
Sienna.
push-ups
You
in front
did
of that.
try very hard.
Did that Yeti? I think she sent the Yeti.
She did try
Darylith,
that.
how does it make you feel knowing someone else may ponder your orb?
It hurts, honestly. And you know what? It's a good thing we
It's-
took that fucking cursed book, because this bitch would have fucking done weird shit with it.
Yeah, she would have.
You get
And
the
also,
sense
we
that
would-
if she wanted that book, she could have had that book.
I don't think
Yeah.
that she
Probably, 'cause
understood
she would
that.
have tricked us,
great
and
book.
she would have been like,
Well,
"You guys have
yeah,
another bad object." And
She
we'd
did
be like,
like
"You're right."
she
Yeah,
did
it's
she is
complicated.
quite powerful. You did realize she was like able to keep you out of the town when she wanted to, and she let
Yeah.
you in when she wanted to.
Just to confirm,
She broke my heart when she wanted to.
the shadow that was at the Ilmater temple, that was Gabe.
No, Gabe's
No.
like, what? No.
Gabe
Oh,
followed us
who's-
out of the town.
There's a
Shadow?
shadow that's been
Kuldahar.
following.
That's just a
Gabe-
ghost
no,
that
Gabe-
really likes Bambi.
Gabe's like,
Yeah.
no. There's definitely no shadow at that temple. There might be ghosts,
The
But
one that
I
was
don't-
really into Bambi.
but I went
That's
around
not
there.
related to any of this. That's
Gabe's
just-
like I went around there before you guys came, and I didn't hit anything
Okay.
yeah.
with the old, you know.
Only something
The
super
sniffer?
spooky and
He just
supernatural
had to sneak out with
could
us when
have
we left.
possibly.
So if it was
escaped
like a
Gabriel's
malevolent,
senses.
because and Gabe's like, you know, like, and he does like the shadow thing with his hands. He's like, I was also I get trapped for a really good rogue, you know, I get trapped, well, back in my day we were called thieves. Now he's a rogue. I was stuck on the plane. I told you guys I was stuck on the plane of shadow for a while too.
What episode number
that's
are we
true.
on? Like 138?
No, just
Just
30.
kidding.
Just
38.
30. If we
It took us
included
this long
all
to figure
of
out
the
the
episodes,
fucking plot of our
Hey! This was a
No.
very no. We couldn't have because we didn't have
No.
information about Cambians.
I know.
Cambians?
Cambians.
This is why we came to Candlekeep. I was like, this will solve all of our problems.
It really did, doesn't it?
Right away, I was like, let's go.
Candlekeep.
It's only
I
been
was-
3 years since we started this game. And
Well,
now
to be
we're
fair, we
finally
spent.
finding the plot.
All right.
Listen, we
Had a
had
plan
to.
from the start.
All right.
We had
Okay.
to
Years
fight
we had
some
me.
murderers.
All right,
Okay, man.
To be
we're
clear,
doing
I
our
wasn't
best.
entirely sure how an archdruid would react to so many different things. So I couldn't read into it enough, right? Like I couldn't comprehend what the correct reaction should have been in certain circumstances. Anyway,
As much as Darylith understands the orb, is that it is a natural occurring part of the universe, technically another universe, but entropy is a part of every universe.
it was very
Right.
ordered.
So it is a part of the natural order, and it is something that most druids don't, right? Most druids are concerned with just the mundane elements, right? There's not a lot of gravity druids, right? There's druids that focus on like, oh, I can help like plants and stuff. They're focused on life force, but there are druids who focus on the what we in the real world would call the physical sciences, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
So for
So-
Darylith, it's possible some druids would see that as anathema.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because it's
a
so
opposition to
foreign.
life.
It's
It's alien. So
but
to me,
there are also
I-
druids who are so concerned with the cycle that they would look at that and go, "Oh, that makes total sense. Of course, everything
Yeah.
has to die."
No,
right?
I didn't really know what her deal was or what her position was in the world or what Kuldahar represented. So I kind of just assumed that it was something out from beyond and toxic in a way, and it made sense to me that she'd be offended by it. So I didn't really think that her reaction was all that strange. And plus, I've lost my shield. I lost my whole fucking family. There's a lot of things I've lost. So
Yeah.
losing an orb connection to the far realm, not that weird, okay? The gods hate me. All right, that's all. I can't even die.
I think we
right?
all assumed because,
anyway.
because of all the shit that happened at the inn that the orb was just bad news. So the fact that she took it off our hands, we were just like, oh, thank God.
No. It's
we don't have to
fair.
deal
And
with
also
it.
at the
It's
time,
fair.
the time we were so focused on East Haven and just trying to get help that
Yeah.
we were like,
yeah.
we were told to come to the Archdruid. So like, we were
Yeah,
always
that's
under
the
the
problem.
assumption that
We were
she's
sent to
who
the
we were supposed to
Archdruid.
trust.
So yeah, no,
But she was
I don't
good
even
looking.
remember who sent us.
It's just because they said
So-
there's an archdruid in Kuldahar,
Yeah.
but we never said describe them. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because
Yeah.
they probably
Well-
been like an old man, and then if we showed up and it was a woman, we'd have been like, "Who the fuck are you?"
If you want to be,
Well, even still, we would have been like, they're like, oh, an old man died. We've
And we've
seen
been
a
like,
lot of.
We've seen a
Checks
lot
out.
of
Sounds
dead
about right.
old
if
men.
you want to
We're
make good
idiots.
villains, there's 2 books I would recommend.
Machiavelli,
Prince.
sure.
And
By
the Art of
Machiavelli.
War.
And the art
Art
of
of
war.
War.
Yeah, no, I knew that.
Yeah.
I know that you fucking read
Well,
those books multiple
Anyway.
times.
Shit, but look, we've linked it.
I
have
will
multiple
say though,
copies of the
Probably
Art
one
of
of his
War.
kids.
Yeah.
Or...
I will say though, as someone who,
Fuckery.
who generally has absorbed those 2 books, I was very consistent with making reports to the Harpers the whole fucking time, and I
Yes.
did definitely pass on some comments about what is with this archdruid and what is with Kuldahar. Okay, something's
Yeah,
a little
yeah.
bit off there. I
Junior
feel like I
Harper.
did drop a report on that. I didn't
The
outright
problem
claim
for-
they were wrong. All I'm saying is they have no reason to act, but I'm just saying that I've left a fairly consistent and
Sowing
accurate
the
trail of
seeds of doubt.
information. And it's not sowing the seeds of doubt. If this is actually an imposter, they need to look into it. Now we actually might have some evidence of it possibly being the case.
So-
I'm still not convinced.
So the next point I'll make for you is that devils are often considered master manipulators,
Fair enough.
right?
Mm.
Because the main thing devils want to do is corrupt mortals and take their souls so that they can make more devils so that
Mm.
they have a larger army to fight in the blood war, right?
Yeah, I can
That
appreciate
is
that.
one of the myths of Asmodeus, is that that's the deal he made so that he could corrupt souls, so he could, like, because the only way to get more devils is to corrupt mortals. Demons are infinite.
They're
They are
infinite.
spawned from the
Yeah,
abyss
you just
itself,
puff 'em out.
right? They spontaneously generate. And celestials, they don't propagate either, right? Like there's just like a finite number of them. And they don't even want, like, so the blood war is this very important cosmic conflict of law versus order that takes precedence over good versus evil. And it's with that knowledge that knowing they're supposed to be master manipulators. And you see in the notes of Belafed of how many people he was able to manipulate, right? How many people he got to follow him in Kuldahar. And as soon as Yxonomai, the marilith, showed up, she was pretty good. She also was able to hide, but her followers were all easily influenced because they were yuan-ti and they're chaotic. They have a demonic taint already. And then as soon as the adventurers showed up, boom, they were under, that was it. Gabe's like, oh yeah, it took us like when we went to that library in Dorn, it was so creepy. Everyone was like, join us, stay, yeah, la, la. And then it was, yeah. And then she like revealed that this larger plot, but we wouldn't have known if she hadn't showed up. And it's in his own fucking handwriting, right? That he's like, everything worked fine until this demon showed up. I had everybody in the palm of my hand.
Mm-hmm.
The events in the Hand of the Seldarine are much more direct, right? But his kids, they were only kids. They were 20, 25 when they did this. If they've aged, who knows how much smarter they've gotten. And they were incredibly powerful then. And he like looks up, he's like, this one was like a favorite of the Bane's son is the I don't know anything
Bane's
about this
son.
guy. Zachu Vim was the godson Bane, and then he died in you know how Bale was reborn? Bane did the same thing. He had progeny. He had a son, and then that son, Bane, exploded out of that son, and he was reborn. So
the Bale, but so we met.
those weren't actual gods. Those were just chosen
No.
of the gods.
They were just chosen of the gods, but
Yep.
Where were they? Where did they get those fucking drops on them again? Like where did they become chosen?
Gods just pick people to be chosen.
But they all got chosen at the same time in the same place.
Maybe they came together is all we knew, right?
No, they were all in the same adventuring party.
But we don't know how they formed the adventuring party. Not even Alec knew, right? Alec, they
Right.
hired Alec to be a ranger for them, right?
Right.
To get the black orb.
Right.
And it's what did you like? Wait, yeah. Those guys wanted the black orb, if you remember, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
so clearly this is something. There's something about this object. There's something about Mary. There's something about this object that
Hundreds of years in the making.
So
Yeah,
Gabe's
there's
like,
that orb.
Gabe's like, this is what I mean. Like, all this stuff seems awfully fucking connected,
I'm starting to.
and you're the only ones in the middle of it.
The orb is in the center. The bigger orb.
The
You don't know. Know what I mean? We're the party. We hold hands. We're in a circle. But the
It
orb,
okay. All
we
right.
lack.
Speaking frankly, though, as a character, as also to the party, we can't take on that tree and whatever her hold is on that space. I don't think we could just walk in there.
Not with that help?
I mean,
Have to do a
I don't
lot
know.
more
I don't
practice
know.
first.
I mean, pardon? Yes, not with that.
Even with
attitude.
Gabe?
Gabe was there.
But
Look,
Gabe left with us. He was scared.
yeah.
wait,
that's fair.
okay,
He's like,
no,
"I'm
all
out."
right. Going back to the stories and the histories of how Gabe's party fucked up, you know, the father and all these other beings. What weapons, what tools, what knowledge they have that we still could retain or still reclaim for fighting
Well,
the children of
we
Belobak.
just amassed some really powerful magic items and went to town on his ass.
Okay, all right, fair. Good plan. You don't happen to know anybody or anywhere we could amass these more items of a similar.
I mean, we adventured for a while to find that stuff. We found a lot of it in the Vale of Shadows. We found some of it in Dorn's Deep. We found some of it in the Dragon's Eye. You know, like there's all kinds of places around that we found it. And I'm sure, you know, the party from Targos that defeated the children, they
Ooh,
also, yes,
ooh.
the
Xanon
giant
says,
woman with her hand up.
"Oh yeah, the giant woman." Okay. What if we while we're here? Why don't we look up where to find some magical stuff? Maybe
And
like,
That's
oh,
not-
the greatest weapons that have ever hit a demon in the face. Scroll.
Like a holy avenger.
I don't know.
None of you could wield one, but
Really cool
not-
shoes.
that's not the path I'm trying to set you down on. You could. do
No, we
that.
can't hire some paladins. Here you go.
Let me get to the next part, because
Okay.
Gabe is fixated on this thing
Yep,
where he's
fair
like,
enough.
Okay,
He's
go.
like-
Go ahead.
Eric, did you get my message?
Yes.
No.
Yes. That's why I was looking it up.
What does it say? What is?
The sending spell? You send a short message of 25 words or less to a creature with which you are familiar. The creature hears the message in its mind, recognizes you as the sender if it knows you, and can answer in a like manner immediately. The spell enables creatures with intelligence scores of at least 1 to understand the meaning of your message. You can send the message across any distance and even to other planes of existence.
Yes.
But if the target is on a different plane than you, there is a 5% chance that the message doesn't arrive.
So you're capable of casting that spell, right? I don't know if you picked it as a bard.
I did
but
not
you're,
pick it. No.
You're a high enough level. You know what a third level spell is, or it's
Yeah.
a second level spell. So,
No, it's a 3rd level spell.
oh, is it okay? This is what I like. This is what I needed you guys to just that spell was just like, what if you're here, but you're also there?
Oh god, this is...
Oh no, I get it. It's like when I disassociate.
Like,
Totally.
you can be here, but you can go to the astral plane in your astral self, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
you're in 2 different places, but that's not really a place. But that's not the same as what they did. They went to a place where time doesn't work the same.
So they sent messages through time to themselves?
What if they can do that?
Like it's like that old story, the Interstellar one.
Yep.
Actually, I haven't watched
Yeah,
it.
yeah. The one about
Bookshelves.
the
No,
guy and his daughter, and he moves the book.
Yeah, I've only seen the meme.
Oh,
It's a good movie, man.
great, beautiful. I love that soundtrack.
What if you could
Mhm.
do that? That's how magic works now. It's not how magic worked then. What if you could do that?
Could touch the strings.
But I'm not really sure what that provides
Can
us
send
with, other than
messages.
that they were able to maybe assist themselves in their invasion.
Oh, though, without ruining everything else.
The what?
Well,
Maybe we can stop everything that happened merrily, but if we can send messages the same way, maybe we can get people to stop them in the past. We don't have to do it now with magical weapons.
No, because you
Can
can't
you
time
get
travel.
Gabe?
You can't time
Oh.
travel.
But
I was
we
hoping we
could
could
send
get
a
Gabe and his
message
party to do it right.
Yeah,
and
I
then he
know.
never goes
Just
to
get the
the mission.
NPCs to take care of the whole adventure.
Campaign's done.
No, what Gabe is suggesting is that
Mhm.
them now could send messages to them before.
So
When you say
could
them, who do you mean
But
them?
then we would see.
The
We
children.
would see.
You would see
No,
what?
but
Demon children are
No, are we
sending
talking about the
messages to
Cambians or are we talking about Gabe's
Can't,
party?
yeah, they're
I'm curious.
incredibly powerful spellcasters.
Okay.
Yes,
all
but the point being, if they could do that, we would be seeing.
We would behind them. We would be behind them every step of the way
yeah,
because they
So if
already
it's
know what's
children, it'd be
coming.
like,
because they're sending each other these.
They would be
messages
aware of everything we were trying to do every
Would
time
we
before
not
we tried
start
to do
to
it.
see like rifts in time though?
How would we notice that?
No, we're in the new timeline every time, right?
It's
Like,
these are Back to the Future
everything-
rules.
It's
that's
like
why she
Loki
knew
rules.
we had the
Everything-
orb. And she
everything
knew
that
we
has
had the orb,
happened-
and she stole it from us this time.
Everything has happened because of some future information that.
But
made
do
it
you think that
worthwhile
they
for
know
them.
about us now?
So
think
this
they
is
know that
getting
we're
pretty
gonna take
heated,
them.
and you guys are supposed to be in a quiet space. And an old man in a red hat comes by and he goes, "You're, I'm sorry, you're being quite loud, but I couldn't help overhearing."
Please stop time, sir.
Or
You're
you'd
fiddle,
be a
sir.
very powerful wizard if you could do that.
Are you a powerful wizard?
I'm more of a hedge mage. Well, fuck. Now I forget what I was gonna say.
No, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It's an old man.
I couldn't help overhearing what you were talking about.
About the time travel.
And
Sending
if
messages.
that were the case, you would need something to funnel the energies through. If you were going to split time, you would need some kind of convergence, something that would link the two time periods together, then and now.
You think like a gigantic heartstone from the depths of Kuldahar?
And Gabe's like, well, how long after did the kids do the... Because, like, I didn't just fall into a hole the next day. Like, I didn't fall into
Maybe
the astral sea
April.
until, like,
Took a while.
20 years later.
But what
Maybe that
event
was on
happened 20
purpose.
years afterwards?
The children doing the thing.
The thing
Because they were 20 when they
died.
did the Hand of the Cell.
I was just hoping like it would coalesce with something from history. we
Wait,
would know,
he
so we'd be
died-
able to
he- I'm sorry.
recreate it.
No, this
They
is,
did their thing
history.
20 years after the original when they were babies. They did their whole thing and fell into the thing. And
Gabe's
he
like, well,
fell-
that's when my memory gets real fuzzy, but, like, I, you know...
What if
I
they did it on purpose? What if you've been in the astral plane the whole self on purpose because they put you there? Maybe they put you there on
But,
purpose.
but like, could a man be a con? I'm not a man. I'm a half elf. I suppose if they were magically
this is-
infused.
This is Horcrux
They were magically
rules. I was
infused. They
so
were
fucking
the
confused.
Please don't use that word here. They're called phylacteries.
Look, I wasn't very impressed with that because when I watched the movie, I was like, "Is the water a Horcrux?"
just wanna
That
hear
was
Dave
not clear to
explain
me. That was not clear to me.
Not interrupt.
No
So,
one. Well, I can't explain
okay.
it. None of these people don't necessarily. This is all theory. The old man's like this.
Yeah, I don't understand. Yeah,
can't-
what
He's
what
our
the
lead
rules
right
are
now.
for
Let him
football.
For magic
Conduits.
like this, you need like are you familiar with a mythal or a mythalar?
Yeah,
Something
yeah.
like that.
We have a note
Yeah.
on that. Hold on, let me control F.
If I'm not mistaken, there was a broken mythal within the hand of the Seldarine,
Mhm.
Was.
which is a way that the elves used to channel like powerful high magic. It's what the Netherese used to make their cities fly.
Yes.
What do you
So
think?
Seldarine-
the collapse of these cities.
The hand of the Seldarine was what the
That was the elven stronghold.
That's what it was before it was the Order of the Chimera
Mhm.
stronghold.
Oh, right.
It was the hand of the because it had 5 points for the 5 elven prime.
It was in the spine of the world mountains.
correct. Excuse me.
So a mythal would be strong enough. Okay, sorry. Well, theoretically, a mythal would be strong enough converge the timelines again? We have to look for ancient, strong magic like that.
Well, that might be just like one part. What I'm trying to lead you towards is that Gabe is connected to this probably because he connects the two timelines,
Makes sense.
right? Because
Which is
he's
why
here
they're-
now and he was there then, right?
Yeah, he's the point that connects the two.
He's your what's the guy's name from Doctor Who doesn't die?
Master?
Captain Jack?
No,
What?
Captain
No,
Jack.
no, the Rory.
Harkness?
Rory, yeah,
Oh,
he's
the
he's the centurion.
He
Ah,
like
shit.
connects.
There's too many people that like
doesn't-
don't
yeah,
die.
well,
Oh, so many people who can't die.
it isn't
too.
intentional,
Jesus.
but like, well,
It's fine.
Gabe can die. He has died.
Just super fucking old, and he's like our centurion. Okay,
Yeah.
I get it.
He's old like Captain America's old. But he's not. That was not my intention either.
Go ahead. Sorry, I want to make sure I hear everything first.
I
before
don't think
talk.
like that's like all we can do now is like go beat the
There,
shit
right?
out of them, right?
We would
Yeah,
have
in
to
the
go
spot.
there.
Yeah, go back to their house and well, one of them has to. One of them's at Kuldahar. The other one must be at the
The
house
other one's
to protect
probably
it.
there, probably at the stronghold, right?
That would make sense.
Which would be the
Well,
brother.
strong-
because
no, the stronghold
Archdruid is there.
fell into
Yeah, it's
limbo.
still- but I mean, like the location of it.
one of them is probably in East Haven, at the portal,
Okay,
summoning devils through.
makes sense.
That's
That's why she was sending us there anyway.
to die.
Direction, not directly there, but that direction.
To die? No, away from it. They were sending us away from East Haven, so we wouldn't. That way we wouldn't stop their little devil plan.
I'm not 100% on that.
But we're gonna
Um,
need like an army, right? Like they have like an army, and we would need like an army.
Well, have we considered? Maybe we can send them a note being like, "Hey, do you think that you could speed it up and like resolve this gigantic conflict that's happening in the Silver Marches, just so we can come back and kill you later?"
Have you
it,
considered
I don't know
mercenaries?
what's happening there.
What about the Harpers? Would the Harpers?
They don't have. They're not, the CIA does not have an army.
Yeah, no.
The
Don't
Okay,
have
C-
enough
I
money
think
for mercenaries.
it's
though.
explicit, Eric. They don't
The
have.
Harpers is the one
Dungeons
thing
and
I
Dragons
actually
Honor Among
understand.
Thieves is about harpers.
I don't
Do you
know
think that we
about
can contact the
Archdruids.
Harpools and see if they'll give us a bunch of money?
They don't.
Oh my god. By the gods. Look, I don't know about Archdruids. I don't know about a lot of conduits and things like that. The Harpers are a spy network just because we've heard of them. They're not an army, okay? But like I said, I've been very on top of communicating with churches about problems. I think we at least have a basis for maybe trying to put in a request to pull forces from the Silver Marches situation. We've been in touch all the way. Yes, large
I
woman.
was just gonna say now, out of character. Now that we know all this information and how it's connected,
Mhm.
now I think you're able to. You can share that with people now and be like, "Hey, remember how I told you about this?
Still
Well, it turns
just
out
a theory, but
It's not a theory.
Yes,
it's not a theory.
Well,
Well, the only part is
it-
the
it-
time travel stuff is maybe a theory, but we at least know the brother and sister are still alive.
They have returned from
Sister
limbo.
is most likely
sisters alive.
impersonating the Archdruid.
We know
Right.
there's a problem
He-
with Kuldahar,
Who is
and that
impersonating her.
at the most basic level, we know that there's a possibility that Kuldahar has become corrupted, and that alone, I think, is a significant enough reason to rally the forces of the
Silver
the
Marches?
forces. No. The silver.
You need an army.
Yeah, any other
Yes.
force.
Oh,
And I'm focusing the camera on the old hedge maids. Was it-
There's I've become southern now, unfortunately.
That's
Accent
fine.
keeps
That's
changing.
fine.
And once I put the pipe in, I unfortunately became
Like,
quite
there we go.
That's
southern.
totally fine. That's
Yes.
totally fine. Are you gonna? Is the camera gonna pan and there's gonna be an army in the courtyard? That's what I want. Right?
No. If I
Damn it.
recall correctly, there's an anniversary coming up for some gentleman. I don't remember what for, but one of the men who attends this ceremony is a captain of a mercenary company.
Where's
the,
this
uh,
festival?
Taking place.
It's
Deus
just-
ex mercenary.
It's the down Lion Way is a very lovely place called the Friendly Arm Inn. There's a large
Arm in. Okay,
yes
got it.
keep, large keep, and They celebrate every year the reunion, and I believe one of the men is having a baby, I heard. If you hurry, you might be able to reach them.
Do we
What's the
know
fastest
about
way
Let's
to
just
get there?
go. This is our. This is our.
No,
Oh,
no,
I'm
no, no,
taking
no,
it.
no,
I'm
I'm-
taking it.
I'm asking out of character.
I mean, even if they're not, maybe you could
Sounded like it wasn't
recommend
character.
another mercenary. I'm not sure. I've never.
We don't have money for it, sir. Do you have money?
We have some money. What are you talking about?
We don't have enough money for a fucking
I have a
mercenary company.
pension. I have a wizard's pension. It's
So you do. Thank you. That'd be so helpful.
but it's
I
divvied
would
out
rather
slowly by the wizards' credit union. You see.
I would rather speak with them regardless of the costs. I think it's important just to.
I mean, it's perhaps the other gentlemen there are knights. They might be able to.
Where?
rally
Sorry.
some-
What is the fastest way to this? This
I believe that's your flying
way of
contraption
flying.
out there, isn't it?
Oh no, not again! I don't trust that thing anymore.
It's
I've
going down the way of
also-
the lion. Well, okay, I need.
It's
to...
literally down the road. It's the first place you can go from Candlekeep.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's good. That's.
Wait, is it this? It's the. Is it the? Oh no, that's the.
It's the next thing on the map. It's literally down the street. Yes.
This was
okay.
my grandfather's pipe, and it still smells like smoke.
Nice.
Well, it's almost like
That's a-
it was continually on fire for a long period of time. That could be.
Mm.
Has
He
something
smoked
to do with it.
cigarettes, not pipes.
That's very interesting.
Tar is powerful.
Smells terrible.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I should clean these.
Smells like grandpappy.
Opa.
I
Oh, we
will
know what
say
we're doing
that
next time.
the gods act in strange ways, but I will take an omen when I see one. And I
Omen?
think-
Where? That son of a bitch owes me money.
He does.
Thank
that
you,
son of a
everyone.
bitch
Good night.
always.
Thank you, everyone. Good night. Good night. No, sorry.
Are
Close
we
enough.
done?
We
Good.
know where we're going
11.
starting
Yeah.
next session. I think, and we're gonna know what to do now. Binders on.
Next
Sort
time
of.
on Dead Ice, they look for an army.
Yeah, we'll see
We're
if
Bye.
we
gonna
even
talk
dare.
to mercenaries.
Everybody gets 4,500 experience, I believe it was, for completing this chapter.
For this one? Okay.
Holy shit!
Okay,
It's so long
Eric.
since we got
Eric,
Okay.
when you if you level, change one of your spells to sending. We need it.
Everybody level.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody should level
Yeah.
from that. I checked.
Okay, bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye.